Hello, everyone.
Wow, I'm so nervous right now.
Really?
I don't have your calming presence here, Beth.
I'm here by the airwaves, and I'm there with you in spirit. I honestly feel like I'm a radio host right now.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Beth and I are recording in 2 different locations this week. This is the first time we've ever done this.
Yes.
But honestly, it's probably for the best that we just go ahead and do it once because...
then we know we can. Yeah, it is kind of sad, though.
I miss having you here, but I'm glad we can talk now.
I know.
Everything is okay.
What's up, Kara? How's it going?
Wow. Well, I caved and decorated for Christmas early.
Oh, I did too.
And now
I decorated last week.
I wanted to decorate last week, but we're trying to figure out our tree situation. We're like, do we do a live tree? Do we spend mucho casho on a fake tree? But my parents came in clutch and gave us one of their old trees that still works and still lights.
That's nice.
We have a nice 6.5 foot tree in our window, and
trees are really expensive. Like whether you get it fake or real, they're so expensive. So that is awesome that you got that for free. Because we got ours, the one that we have now. I never thought I'd be a fake tree person, but in adulthood, I am. I have become a fake tree person.
I mean, the needles.
Yeah, and I'm kind of afraid that it's going to catch on fire if it gets too dry.
You don't water it, I mean, you hear those stories all the time.
Yeah, so
don't water it and something happens.
Yeah, we got a fake tree when we got married a couple years ago, and that was when we were newly married, very no cash to spare. So we got this one that was like on clearance at Target. And I thought, until this year, I thought it was the worst tree, terrible quality. But I've realized that I was just putting it up wrong. Like,
oh my gosh.
I wasn't folding the branches down as far as they could actually go. And so I thought it just didn't look full. But this year when I set it up, like, it looks amazing. And I was just doing it wrong for 2 years.
Yeah, I saw a little video. It looked great.
Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but I do think it looks cute.
No, and then I saw your cute little stars you had hung up in your
We got those last year at IKEA, and I made sure
I tried to talk Cam and getting some at IKEA the other day, and he was no dice.
He wasn't into it.
But the last 2 years, Cam and I have used a 2-foot fake tree that would sit
you had
on
a smaller place,
teeny tiny apartment tree, and it sat on our little side table. And we had our lights and our ornaments, and we had our little Christmas village underneath, which we are doing the Christmas village. We do a Lego Christmas village every year, and we're doing that again. But this year it's going to be on our mantle because we have a mantle now.
That's also very exciting because I feel like you can't truly decorate for Christmas until you have a mantle, and we don't have one right now. Yeah. So...
we had to buy stocking hooks. Before we were using little push pins in the wall.
I know. We just I'm pretty sure we just taped ours to a shelf. Yeah. So
got to get that security deposit back.
Yeah. I mean, for real though. But anything else? Anything else going on? Oh wait. Well, I have some news.
Yeah.
I'm getting a puppy.
I'm so excited.
I am getting a puppy.
I'm so excited.
She's currently...
You have to share the name.
Okay, her name... she's a black lab, and her name is Pepper. But her full name is Pepper Cornelia, so we can call her Peppercorn. And
she's so beautiful.
I know, I'm so excited.
So warmed.
She's about a week and a half old right now, so she's really tiny. I'm
anticipating this dog's arrival like I would of a child. Like, honestly, I better be Aunt Kara. No pressure.
When I held her the other day, because it's my mother-in-law, her dogs had puppies, and that's one of the puppies that we're getting, and we're here for Thanksgiving, post-COVID test, just so you know, we got our COVID test before we came, but when she gave it to us to hold for the first time, my heart was like, oh, am I gonna cry?
Feel it through the screen.
Yeah, it was she's so cute. So that's great news.
I cannot wait.
Yes.
I mean, I know you can't take her home till like Christmas time, but
yeah, but
so
it's
excited.
Nice. Like with normal puppies, I wouldn't even get to meet her until I took her home, which is like 8 weeks.
You're already bonding.
I know. I'm trying to hang out with her every day while I'm here, so she gets used to my smell. So then she bonds with me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I really hope that, because Cam and I are planning on getting a dog. Hopefully it's early next year, and I don't know what I'm going to do if they're not friends.
They're going to be friends. They don't have a choice.
I got to make sure it's socialized.
Yeah, it's like when, like, you know, growing up, like your mom would have really good friends, and then you would be like forced to be friends with their kids.
Yeah, of course.
That's exactly the same situation.
This is what this is going to be. There's no compromise here.
Yes.
Well, I'm so excited for you, Beth. This is what we need in 2020.
I know. I didn't honestly, it snuck up on me. Like we weren't necessarily planning on getting a dog.
It snuck up, yeah. I remember it kind of just happened.
Yeah, not to say that it wasn't thought out, because Nate and I have basically
You've been wanting one for a while.
We've wanted a dog since we got married. We just knew it wasn't the right time, but I think now. There's no time like the present, as they say, and
yes.
So yeah,
but you have been thinking about it for a long time, so I'm so glad it's happening.
And I'm really excited to train her. Like I really like. I don't know. Labs are really smart and they are working dogs, so they really like to learn and they love to please their owners. So it's a nice combination of
I'm so
things,
excited.
and I'm excited to train her, and she's going to be the best dog in the entire world.
Peppercorn.
Yes.
Well, wow.
Anywho,
great news this week. We also have Bachelor Nation news this week.
Oh,
Beth,
yeah?
We didn't talk about this earlier. So if you have any Bachelor Nation news that I might have missed, then please jump in, because I really do feel like I sincerely missed something this week. But I have two things. Number one, Caitlin Bristow won Dancing with the Stars.
Yes. Snaps for Caitlin.
Now, I honestly was afraid she wasn't going to win because Neve Schulman, I mean, you introduced me to his dance moves. And
I know.
So graceful.
I don't watch Dancing with the Stars, but when Caitlin was on, I mean, I really liked her season of The Bachelorette, and I just like casually keep up with her. So I would YouTube her dances, and then his Neve Schulman, who, if you don't know, because I honestly didn't know, he's the host of Catfish, and
and he was catfished himself.
Yeah, he catfished.
No, he
everyone.
got catfished.
Oh, wait, what?
He got catfished in his personal life. You don't know
And that's
this?
how he started the show?
Yes. He has a whole documentary about how he got catfished. Like, you follow him on his journey.
That.
You have to watch it.
Oh my gosh.
I watched it during the first part of quarantine when I was waiting for an IKEA delivery to arrive.
Yeah.
And you have to watch it, Beth.
Okay, I will check that out.
But that's how he started. That's why he started the show Catfish. But
I
get what you're trying to say.
Anyone.
What were you trying to say about the Dance with the Stars?
I was trying to say that he catfished us but in the best way. Because if
it was so
I would
nice.
never have expected him to be an amazing dancer, but he was truly, I mean, he got second place. He was truly amazing.
Yeah. It was
he really stole the show at times, but I do think Bachelor Nation came through. But also, I think, like, I did watch the dances, and I think Caitlin's final dances were better. So
her final dances were better, but his like Black Swan dance
that was
thrilling.
What's the word? Yeah, that's a good word.
I know.
I don't even know how to describe it.
He had a lot of great dances this season, but that one, I was like, he was dancing with his whole body.
Yeah,
I mean, his face, his toenails.
Yeah, he was good. But Caitlin did win, which I'm so happy for her. And
she deserved it.
Yeah, that's some Bachelor Nation news. What's the other piece?
But if Neve had won, I wouldn't have been like upset either. So.
I wouldn't have been upset. I would have been.
I would have been sad for her.
Her world would have been rocked.
Yeah. The other piece of news I have is that, so you know the podcast, the Bachelor Nation podcast, Clickbait, which isn't about Bachelor Nation. It's just has Bachelor Nation people on it. And they talk about other things.
I've never listened to it, but
I've only listened to one episode, and it was because what they did is they did part 1 of a Tayshia interview on Bachelor Happy Hour, and then they said part 2 is on Clickbait, so you have to go to Clickbait to listen to part 2. So I was like, okay, fine. But the news I have is that Hannah Ann has already left the podcast.
What?
I don't know if she was fired or if she left on her own accord.
I thought it was weird that she was part of it to begin with, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, but now it's just Tayshia and Grocery Store Joe. Like, if you go to the podcast on, Apple Podcasts or Spotify, the icon has already changed. It's just Tayshia and Grocery Store Joe.
I wonder if she did get fired.
I mean, to me, there's no real way to find out for sure. But her little exit, that she did like a little exit announcement. She was like, I'm going to focus on cooking and cooking content.
What?
And part of me is like, is she doing that classic, like, I'm young and in my 20s and I flake out on stuff and like, I don't know.
I'm young and in my 20s and I don't flake out on stuff.
I know, but that's like a stereotype for young people. Is that's not being dependable.
I'm shaking my head because if I had we have a podcast and I think it's pretty great, but who knows how many people listen to it. She got a free platform to have a free podcast that a lot of people would listen to.
Backed by one of the most powerful forces known to man, the Bachelor franchise. Right.
I mean, they basically control the world. I don't understand this choice, if it was a choice. If it was a choice. Maybe in like another couple of weeks, they're going to swoop in and give us a replacement.
You know what? Maybe when she gets off contract, we'll know. Because she's still on contract. Love to know.
Maybe she just decided she didn't want to be famous, but I feel like her whole personality is wanting to be famous.
There is no way.
Maybe recording
she wants to be the
podcast.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe recording the podcast got in the way of her Revolve trips, so she said, "Never mind."
Her boohoo, whatever.
I want to go to Africa in a pandemic and take some photographs of clothes that will fall apart in a month.
Yeah, I just don't. There's no way in heck that she doesn't want to be famous. No way.
That's what she would say, though. She'd be like, I just decided, like, I didn't want to be famous. That's what she would say.
Well, that happened. Those are my 2 big pieces of Bachelor news. I really do feel like something else happened, but I was racking my brain.
You would know better than me. Let me look at the stuff you sent me. I feel like you DM'd me stuff.
We definitely got some good promos this week, which I feel like will probably come up more naturally throughout.
Yeah,
while
and
we recording.
Also Bennett posted that photo of him. Bennett. For some reason, him and Brendan, like, I'm always afraid of mixing up their names, even though they're 2 very distinct people. But you sent me a photo of Bennett. Or I sent it to you, and he's like shirtless, and it's very
Is he in the
weird.
Salt Cave?
Yeah. Wait,
the Salt Cave photo. That was wild.
So weird. I feel like that's newsworthy because that was very strange.
Also, Bennett has been hanging out with
Tyler C.
And
he was just on Jimmy Kimmel. I haven't watched it yet, but I
need to watch that.
He posted about it like during the episode tonight. So. Okay. We'll have to watch that.
But yeah, lots of good promos have been coming out. I won't get into the promos, but I do want to say one thing.
Yes.
The promo that we got this week for Matt James this season was exponentially worlds better than the one that came on Big Sky last week that lasted like 15 to 17 seconds.
That was garbage. And I am outraged that they did that to us.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe they made us fast forward through 15 minutes of Big Sky to watch a terrible promo that didn't show anything, and then the next week they have the audacity to show us a great promo for free while we're already watching it.
Yeah. Now the promo, did a promo come on tonight, or was this just, or were we talking about the one that was on Instagram?
No, one came on tonight that I thought was still
I probably was
different.
just tweeting away. There's this YouTube channel called Bachelor Fan Take that breaks down the promos and finds like clues in the promos, and he's really fantastic at it. And I can't wait till he does a Matt James promo breakdown because he does a really great job.
Yeah, we got to see that.
Yeah, I try to adapt some of the skills I learned from watching his videos to my little catches I try to get, but he's on another level.
A league of his own.
A league of his own.
Oh, also, just before we get into it, if you can hear my family in the background laughing away and being loud, that's because that's what they're doing, and that's why you can
just
hear them.
Celebrate the joy that is being shared.
Yeah. I'm not in the professional podcast studio tonight, so.
And this isn't a large family gathering. We need to note that. It's literally...
No, it's like our immediate family. Yeah.
It's like,
it's literally like my in-laws and their children plus me, so.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into the episode.
Yes,
what episode?
I'm rolling up my sleeves.
You know, like, what is it called? Like when you do a benediction at church and you do like, you open your hands and you do
you
praise
receive
God from whom
the doxology.
The doxology, yes. That is literally what
church people know.
We needed this episode because we started in a weird spot, but we ended on a rose ceremony.
And
I could not be happier.
Thank you, Bachelor gods.
But I was still confused during this episode because we started in a weird spot.
I don't know if it's just this season or if this always happens, but at the hour and a half mark, I completely forgot everything that happened at the beginning of the episode. And I was texting with a friend and they were like, oh yeah, why did they do 2 group dates in this? And I was like, what do you mean? And I completely forgot about this whole beginning part where they do the love song thing.
Yes, I want to talk about that. We'll get to it, but I will agree at the hour and a half mark. It's not that I forget what happened. It's just I forget the orientation of the beginning of the episode. Like I forget.
Yeah, it's like a whole new ball game by the time you get an hour and a half in.
A whole new ball game. It's like
sports
48
metaphors.
Hours ago. Who? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the first group date. Speaking of the love song, so the first opening shots. Do you remember what happened in the opening shots with the guys by the pool?
Okay. No, because I was trying to watch on my laptop on YouTube TV, and it kept coming up with this error saying this content's not available right now or something, and then it turned out that I had to turn on my location services for it to work. Anyway, I missed like the first couple.
I had Cam at the ready to problem solve. I was like, I need the login for our Xfinity account. Stat.
I was like, I'm about to buy Hulu Live right now if this doesn't work.
Well, I'll fill you in on what happened.
Okay.
So I remember last week I mentioned that we got a shot of Chasen and Noah chilling by the pool together.
Oh, wait,
and like, that
I
was
did
not
see this. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got that shot, and then we also got a shot. I just have to say, Brendan was working the high socks. You know, like when a guy wears tennis shoes and has like the dad socks on that kind of pulled up,
like the Nike white socks. Like
yeah,
those kind
with
of
like
socks?
the ribbed socks.
I actually rocked that look myself.
You also
just a few
rocked
days
that
ago.
look. I've seen you rock that look many a time.
Maybe saying rocking it is a bit extreme, but I do.
No, it's not.
Wear it.
Nope, it's not extreme enough.
Of course. Okay, what's more extreme than rocking it? I don't know.
I'll have to come up with a new word. But yeah, he was working that look, and I just want to also say we got a good side profile shot with his adorable ears.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about his ears. I have not thought about his ears one time since we talked about it.
I don't think about them just randomly, but when they pop up, I'm like, there you are.
You're like falling asleep at night. You're like, Brendan's ears.
They're so clean. They look clean.
Yeah. Ew, this is weird.
Sorry. I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
What if we go, like somehow we like are in his room, like he's in his room giving us a tour and all he has is just like drawers full of Q-tips.
Those are not good for your ears.
Maybe that's why they're so clean though. You know.
Well, anyways, a wild Chris Harrison appears with the group date news. And I was wrong. I thought it was going to be a talent show, but it's even better than a talent show. The men, which are Zach C., Kenny, Blake, Riley, Bennett, Ivan, and DeMar, all have to write a love song in 1 hour. What did you think about this date idea? I'm thinking about going to Cam and saying you need to write me a love song in 1 hour.
Okay, well, here's my question. Has someone written a song for you before? Your answer has to be yes, because this is just something that would happen to you.
Oh my gosh, something just came to me.
Oh no.
I don't think a love song's ever been written about me. I know someone has dedicated a song to me.
Okay, that counts.
And then one time, Beth, can I tell a very short story? I pinky promise
Yes.
it'll be short.
Yes.
I was in first grade. First grade, bad year. Every time I hear a kid going into first grade, I just don't comment.
You're
Second
like,
grade,
I'm going to pray for you.
I don't say anything because I don't want to scare them. But every time I hear second grade, I'm like, great year. Fourth grade, great year. First grade, crickets. Because like no more nap time. Kindergarten was so fun. First grade's like a wake up call. But I was in first grade, and this kid, his name was Michael. For the life of me, I can't remember his last name. But I guess if I did remember it, I wouldn't share it anyways. But he was the bad boy. Like, the bad boy of first grade. He wore those like wide leg jeans that were in the 90s.
Like parachute pants?
Like Jenkos? Is that what they're called?
Jenkos, yes.
Is that what they're called?
Nate is obsessed with Jenkos. For some reason, he thinks they're so funny.
He wore like those.
He wore Jenkos.
Basically, all my instant knows as an adult he had as a child. So like those jeans, like those really like those shirts with like the filigree, like the really detailed like gothic.
Oh no, he was headed down a path at first grade. That's intense.
And I'll tell you this, I was not interested in him at all.
Okay, that's an important note, everyone. She was not interested.
Yeah, I was forced into a playground wedding with him one time. It was traumatic.
Oh my gosh.
But I will say this. One day we were in music class, and I think it was like once a month on the last week, my music teacher, Miss Hall, she was great. She would let us it was like show and tell, but with talent. So you didn't have to do anything. But one time, Michael plays either a Backstreet Boys song or an NSYNC song.
No. Which one? I hope it was I Want It That Way.
It was I Want It That Way. Is that NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? Which one's that?
It's Backstreet Boys.
Okay. And I kid you not, Beth. It gets worse. He literally got down on his knees and sang in front of, I was sitting in a chair and he got down on his knees and the chairs are like in a semicircle. So it's like the most awkward arrangement possible. And he's singing to me.
No.
And apparently this was back in the day when like phone books were a big thing. Still a thing. So he had looked me up in the phone book, looked up, I don't know how.
Your parents' house name.
Yeah, I guess.
And phone number.
There's not a lot of people with my last name, though.
Yeah.
So that makes sense why it was easy to find. But he would call my house over and over, and my dad eventually had to be like, stop calling.
No way.
But honestly, I do think he... Yeah, wild story.
That is so...
I'm hurting with embarrassment still.
Wait. Did he... So was it like a situation where... the song was on the stereo and the Backstreet Boys were singing it, but he just sang over it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he didn't have a track, but...
That is so funny.
I don't know what happened to him. I think he moved the next year, and I really do think, Beth, he went down a bad boy path, because he was bad first grade. If
he's wearing Jenkos at the age of however old you are in first grade, 7, then...
Yeah.
I'm worried for your soul. So
yeah, it was he was and usually when I was young and a boy liked me, I usually generally liked them back, but this one I was like, ew, I had the ick.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's an amazing story.
That
Thank
happens.
you for sharing.
Have you ever had someone write a song for you?
I wouldn't say directly for me. My husband,
Nate is very musical.
He's extremely talented. Like
so talented.
I believe that he could make a career of it somehow if he wanted to, but he's
He
not
has an
interested.
angelic voice. I mean, you were also very talented musically.
Oh, thanks.
But you're right. Nate is like,
He's like, I would say like I'm pretty decent, but he could like, he actually has a unique voice, and he could actually like be a professional or go on like American Idol or something, and like
the first time I heard him
far.
sing, I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
It was
I know.
It was some recording that he referenced in a conversation.
Yeah.
And then later I was like, I have to look this up.
The first time I ever heard him sing, I was completely shook because I was like theater girl, choir girl in high school and college. So when I heard it, I have very high standards, basically. Even if I'm not like super great, like my standards are still high for what I think is good. So when I heard him sing, I was like, what? So I think he's probably written songs where like I'm somehow related to them. I've never had like a straight like love song written for me, but when we were in college, he would like sing love songs like to me when we first started.
That grabs my heartstrings.
It was probably really cringe, but he's so talented that it like wasn't cringe.
I don't think it was cringe. I know that the ones that I've written have been cringe, but I can't imagine Nate's.
Yeah, I
cringe.
have written a lot of really like stuff that should never see the light of day. But anyway, back to this date.
Yeah, back to this date.
The love song. So you asked me what I think about it. Here's what I think about it. In light of all of that, in light of me saying I have a very musically talented husband, and I am like someone who, like, I know some stuff about music. How is not a single one of them talented or can carry a tune at all? Like,
I made a note. I said this is clearly not the pool of people for Listen to Your Heart.
Yeah.
Also,
I was astounded. Like, how does none of them have a good voice or play an instrument?
Maybe they're so triggered by what happened with Jed and Hannah B that they're like, never again.
They're like, that will not be my brand.
Listen to Your Heart is music. People looking for love who also play music only. If you play music, if you're good at music, and you're on The Bachelor, you can't be on The Bachelor, Bachelorette. Only Listen to Your Heart.
Yeah. So anyway, like, if this was me on this date, I would be like, you all suck. That was so weird.
Yeah.
Like,
I was hopeful for DeMar because he grabbed the guitar, but
I was too. I was like,
what chord was he even playing? It was like a C2.
He wasn't. Yeah, but then he was like, I feel like when you play that chord, you're not supposed to strum like the top two strings or whatever.
And he also didn't have the strings pressed down nearly hard enough.
And he wasn't strumming any sort of rhythm at all. So because when I saw him grab the guitar, I was like, okay, DeMar's got us. Like, DeMar is going to have something going on. But it was arguably one of the worst ones, I would say.
I wrote down the instruments that each of them used.
Okay.
Zach C. used the cajon, the drum that you sit on.
And he just, like, randomly banged on it with no rhythm.
Kenny was a cappella.
Kenny works with bands, so he was the one that I was like, maybe he'll be able to pull something out, and it was bad. It was really bad.
It was really bad. Blake did the accordion and the mandolin, and I want to note he'd use that phrase again where he was like, just give me time. Stop
it's like,
this phrase.
No one's rushing you. Like, calm down.
Exactly. No one's rushing you.
And then
Riley. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I wrote on my notes. Kenny is impressed with Mac. Who do you think that is? I didn't mean Mac because there's one named Mac. Kenny said he was impressed with someone, and I can't remember who. But I was like, really? You manage bands and you're impressed with any of these people? I don't know.
No.
I don't know who I meant, but anyway.
But I've seen the boy bands that he manages, and they're not good either.
Okay, well, that explains it then.
Riley did a spoken word, very Riley. In my word,
I thought Ivan did.
They both did.
Oh, okay. I think
Ivan's
this is
had
when my
more-
thing was messing up, so I like missed part of
Ivan's
it.
had more of a rhythm and lilt to it, but Riley's
he was clearly
definitely
just
a spoken
talking.
word. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Bennett did a rap, which was
Acapella rap. He didn't use the bongos that he had in practice, and I think that was a disservice.
well. Also, I think I missed Blake's too. Did he use the accordion?
He used the accordion and a mandolin.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I didn't see that one. I would love to see that because that sounds hilarious.
He just leaned into the cringe.
Well,
and then
I guess that's,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I guess that's all you can do if you don't have any musical talent.
He's just I want him to go home.
Yeah, same. Let's never talk about him again.
Ivan's act was 10 out of 10 though, I think.
The thing is,
or
I'm
10 out of 10
such,
to his capabilities.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm such a stickler for like rules and what you're supposed to do that even though it was good, I was like, but you were supposed to do a song and that's not a song and you didn't sing. But the words themselves
He had a little rhythm to it. And his rhymes were 10 times better than Bennett's rhymes.
Yeah, Bennett was terrible. Yeah, Ivan was definitely the most sincere without being cringe. But it was still cringe.
Tayshia likes when a guy is nervous around her because she thinks it's cute. Mm-hmm. Like Brendan and him. Because every time when he invited her to come up, quote, on stage, which there wasn't really a stage, but to his side of the room.
Yeah.
And he was like
walk
really
5
nervous.
feet.
Yeah. He was like really nervous and he was like, whoo, whoo. And he sealed it with a kiss on her hand. It was cute.
Yeah, it was cute. At this point, I mean, obviously, so much good stuff to talk about with them later in the episode. But at this point, I'm still not on the Ivan train. So I was just kind of like, eh.
I mean, what I'll say is he's cute. Him and Tayshia are cute together, but I get more of a friend vibe with them overall.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do want to, before we move on, I do want to note that Damar's song was called Mocha Latte.
Oh, yes.
That's what he called
important.
his song.
That sounds like it reminds me of Jamocha Shake from Arby's.
From
Arby's.
I think I had one of those one time, and I was like, why did I do this? And this was, I mean, I can't even tell you when this happened. At least a decade ago.
Jamocha Shake and curly fries. Come on.
I do love their curly fries.
Anyway.
I used to have my friends. Okay, I won't get into the story.
I keep saying it anyway, and then you're like, also this.
It's probably for the best because I have stories that are completely irrelevant to this. Maybe another time I'll talk about my Arby's ritual.
Yeah, let us know if you want to hear about the Arby's ritual, and we'll do a special episode just on our like fast food holy grail orders.
Yeah,
how about
like
that?
our process. Yes.
I don't know why anyone would care about that, but
because we're awesome.
Yeah.
So we learned on this date that none of these men were in the running for Listen to Your Heart. We learned that.
Right.
And Tayshia picks Ivan to come back to her suite later for an extended date. But do they still do a evening portion with the guys?
No,
they don't.
They just show the guys talking at the house, so it like kind of gives you that vibe that it's the evening portion, but they're not actually interacting with Tayshia. So
okay. Oh yeah, they do have the guys talking, and Noah says back at the pad or whatever.
I'm already rolling my eyes.
Noah says Tayshia likes bold, confident guys, and I just screamed like, Noah, you do not know her. And he's saying this to Brendan, who is not bold.
He's like shy and sensitive, and also the reason Noah's saying that is because he's just describing
bold.
Himself. He's just like. Tayshia likes people like me. Like, okay, just because you had one fun one-on-one moment with her, you don't know her at all. Like, you know her 0%.
I just
he said he could see Ivan doing bad. Like, okay,
it's badly, Noah. Badly.
Yeah. At least get your grammar right.
So, in other news, Tayshia and Ivan have this really, what I think is a really adorable date night in.
Yes. I liked it because it was like something that you would actually do in real life.
Yes.
To a certain extent. So
Yeah, they do the floor is lava. After, like, they're going to order a room service, but they do floor is lava first. I have a question for you about this.
Yes.
Is the pillow scoot on the floor a legal floor is lava move?
In my opinion, absolutely not.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you here.
That is going against the whole spirit of the game. Like,
if
that's
you're
so
not risking
dumb.
doing a split or pulling a muscle during floor is lava, you failed.
Yeah.
You're not being creative enough.
Yeah, that was when they like forgot the menu and he went back.
That was cute that they forgot the menu.
Yeah, but he just like put a pillow on his foot and scooted around. It's like, okay.
They clearly made an effort. They didn't cheat on the way to the bedroom. They clearly made an effort. So I just needed to see that continue, that effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Also, when they're ordering and Tayshia hits him with the pillow, the feather pillow.
Oh,
I said, I put down, I really hope they made sure he wasn't allergic to down before this date.
yeah, he could get a serious reaction.
Yeah.
I just love that, again, envisioning the producers being like, okay, you have to get him over to the bed because we've pre-planned these pillows to explode with feathers. A+.
Yes, A+.
Thank you, producers.
That's something Cam would do to me, is like when I'm on the phone, distract me or do something like that.
I was just thinking, is that the room she actually sleeps in? Because
I think so.
Who's going to clean that up?
Maybe she has multiple bedrooms.
Maybe that's why they went outside to talk. There's like a producer in there with a handheld vacuum.
I put a handheld vacuum on my Christmas list this year, just letting everyone know.
I don't have one, but I assume that having one would be a game changer.
I think it would. I'm tired of trying to vacuum spaces with my large vacuum and with the attachment. I'm just over.
Yeah, it just doesn't work the same.
No. But, okay, so they play Twister, but what I really want to talk about, do you want to talk about Twister at all? Do you have any notes from the Twister moment?
No, I'm good.
I want to talk about the bocce ball part because...
Oh, I know what you're going to say. Say it, Kara.
Oh, I forgot that I told you this. Maybe
Wait,
I have.
no, you don't. You didn't tell me. I just know what you're going to say.
Oh, okay. My parents are bocce ball champions.
Frick, that's not what I thought you were going to say at all.
What were you going to say?
I just got annoyed when he said that he let her win, and I thought you were going to say that
Oh,
too.
that's annoying too. When I saw it, I think I just zoned out because I was like, oh my gosh, my parents love bocce ball.
I was so confident what you were, yeah.
Because I'm so annoyed by things like that. You just know me well. But when I saw it, I was just like, shout out to mom and dad. My mom and dad recently won the bocce ball championship for their neighborhood.
Amazing.
And they got a trophy and they had a banquet. But wow. Well, I was really let down because they didn't have their own thrones for being bocce king and queen. And they didn't get crowns. They just got these little trophies. So I'm going to send a letter to
King and Queen. That's what they're called.
So I'm really going to send a strongly worded letter to whoever organizes this league because the winners really need to be celebrated a lot better.
That's disappointing.
But I was glad to see bocce ball on this date, and it was cute. Even though letting people win is not cute.
No, that's like not a thing. Like if you. First of all, never let anyone win. Like this, you should always try to win this is a hot take. You should always try and win every game you play. Don't ever try to not win. Otherwise, what's the point of playing? And also don't ever cheat or what's the point? I feel very strongly about both of those things.
I don't think I've ever let anyone win a game, even when I've been babysitting and stuff. I just don't.
No, I don't. At least of all,
it's a learning experience.
No, yeah, they need to learn that they're not as smart as you.
Yeah.
Hello.
I give them enough compliments as it is. The least I can do is make sure they lose something.
Yeah, well, that's like with my dad when we would play like basketball or
of course
chess. Sometimes we would play chess. He would never let me win, and I would never want anyone to. Like I would get offended if I actually was playing ping pong with someone this summer. And it was a really competitive game because I'm really good at ping pong. And apparently after the game, I learned that they're like basically a semi-pro tennis player. And I was like,
What?
Did you let me win? I cannot believe that. We're playing again. And then I got beat. But I wanted to get beat fair and square.
Yeah. You can sleep better at night knowing that. Okay, so I guess the last thing I want to know is the ice cream bowl. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just that the bowl was closer to the camera, but this was just the epitome of wastefulness, in my opinion.
I felt so bad for the La Quinta employees who undoubtedly spent hours preparing that and making sure it didn't melt, only to have them probably eat like 2 bites and then throw it away.
Can't share it with anyone.
How many gallons of ice cream do you think that was?
At least 3 or 4.
I was going to say 10.
Really? I mean, gallons are big. I was thinking more like, because you typically when you get ice cream at the store, you're not really getting a gallon. You're getting a half gallon.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was thinking like 6 of those.
Whatever it was too much.
Plus like 100 cherries and then the whipped cream.
And no one wants, I mean, I don't know, maybe you like the cherries, but I never want the cherries.
Not that many.
Yeah,
and
no
there was no way
thanks.
they could share it with like the producers unless they were like, let's share germs, everyone.
Yeah, that was very strange.
Ice cream's not really something you can, like, at least in that setting with when you're double dipping the spoon very clearly.
And it's
that you're
funny
going to
that
be
they
sharing
didn't
with a
even-
large group.
They didn't even like acknowledge how strange it was. They just
No. And I'm sure there was some footage somewhere of them being brought that and them reacting and they didn't share it.
We need to see that footage.
But yeah. That's what they end. Wait, that's.
No, they
Oh, wait,
didn't
we get the
end
date
'cause
card.
And we
get
have
the, that's
whole,
what.
Well, and we have the whole
Yeah.
conversation with them later.
Yeah, but in
Yeah.
between that and the serious convo, we get the date card for the next date. And I do want to note something here because all the names that are on that date card are the people who were just on that group date earlier that day.
That's
the
what-
same exact names.
That's what made me forget about the first date because it was all the same people on the second date. So
the exact same people, except for Ivan, obviously. But
what was the point of that exactly?
well, when the card first got dropped off and I heard the names and wrote them down, I said, these guys were literally on a group date today. I wrote down, this isn't a date card. This is a challenge to see if they'll show up on Tayshia's date with Ivan.
Oh,
That's what I initially thought.
Oh,
Because they said, the date card said, how far are you willing to go for love?
Oh, I
And
didn't
I
even
thought,
think about
this is
that.
them challenging them, which would be like a kind of I mean, they would need more information than what was on the date card. But obviously that wasn't right because it was indeed a group date card. But that was just my initial thought.
Yeah, I don't
and
get what's
thought I would share
happening here. I don't know why I don't know what the strategy is.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of the cuts to the date card and cutting back to the date, but I do like to try to follow the chronology of the episode. But we do cut back to more of a serious conversation between Ivan and Tayshia. This is the most conversation I think I've ever seen on a date.
Yeah, there
A
were
lot of convo.
overall there was a lot of conversation this episode, and yes, this date was
Dream date.
and it was just a lot of uninterrupted convo. Like it didn't seem super
Yes.
edited or anything.
Did you catch that Ivan's dad is 73?
Yeah, I did that math because he said like, oh yeah, he was like 40 or something when he had me, but he's 28. So his dad was 45.
Yeah.
Which my mom's 40 years older than me because she had me when she was 40. So
I mean, yeah, I definitely don't think that's old to have a kid, but now that he's 73, I'm like, whoa.
I know that's
And then Tayshia's
crazy.
dad's not even 50, so he was like 19 or 20 when he had.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he
that's like
was-
my in-laws. They had Nate at 24, I think, and then
Yeah.
my mom had me at 45. So it's kind of
Yeah, two ends of the
or
spectrum.
40, not 45. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
But then Tayshia brings up, because Ivan asks about her parents, and she brings up how faith has been really important to her upbringing. And I didn't really hear Ivan say anything on that. But
Yeah, he
it was
didn't-
important to note.
Yeah, he didn't like say same or anything.
Yeah. Very well could have been there and they just cut it out. But it is important to Tayshia, and she does talk about going to church regularly.
Okay.
Pretty openly. I think she goes to one of those mega churches in
LA or something.
Like Zoe Church. I forgot. I don't know.
Classic.
But we learn about Ivan's family, and this is just wild. I mean,
yeah, this took a huge turn that I was not expecting. Turn.
So we learned that Ivan's brother spent 4 years in prison and went to prison right after his daughter was born.
Oh, that's
Can you imagine?
No, I really can't. I can't imagine for anyone in that scenario. Like, being his family member or being his partner or whatever. Like,
yeah. But Ivan's saying that, you know, he would do anything for his niece, and he's a second dad to his niece. That was just really sweet. And I will say this, like, there's that moment where, like, guys that are kind of not so sweet play that niece card, like the
they like use it as a prop.
That wasn't this.
Well, because it sounds like
on a different level.
It sounds like he basically just helped raise her while his brother couldn't be there in person.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about how his niece had to couldn't even touch her dad for the first 2 years of his life. It was just the glass. They had to they just touch the glass. That got me.
Me too. I shed some tears when I was watching this.
Yeah. And then, you know, when that came up, I was like, you know, this is a really natural transition to a more serious conversation. I wonder if it's going to happen. And it did. So Ivan brought up George Floyd and kind of things that have been happening, you know, more recently in our country. And he asked Tayshia how have these events affected you, which I feel like this is a conversation that would probably typically happen on a fantasy suite behind closed doors without cameras. This is the first time in my knowledge that Bachelor has really addressed something political really, I don't know, just really straight on.
Or at least left it in if it was talked about.
Yeah, I mean, I know during Colton's season, they talked about Kaylin and her sexual assault, but that was kind of done very clumsily and not, they honestly kind of, what is the word I'm thinking of? They monopolized on it and tried to make it a big deal. Yeah, capitalized, that's exactly it. This was not that, and
because they didn't even put any of that in any promos or anything.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they didn't.
Me too.
Just because of how they did it with Kaylin, it was so bad the way they handled it. Because you shouldn't capitalize on someone's trauma.
No, of course not.
But they both get emotional, and Tayshia was. It was very interesting to me to that Tayshia, she got emotional and she was like, it's hard, but I don't know how. She didn't have words for it, which
why do you think that is?
I don't know, but I mean, I don't want to say that I relate to her because in an experience, because obviously I don't. Mm-hmm. But it is kind of one of those things where it's hard to have. It is difficult sometimes to find words for when you get emotional over something like that. But I don't think she was trying to avoid the topic. I
don't think she was either. Which also, if she wants, she can avoid the topic because that's her. You know, it's related to her experience. I'm never gonna have the experience that she has. Related to that, but. I felt like she maybe at first felt like she didn't know how much she should say. Because
she got more comfortable later though.
Yeah, I felt like it was a sense of doubt of, okay, I'm on this platform and how far do I go with not like she's hiding anything, but just maybe even being afraid, I don't want to say the wrong thing or whatever. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe
true.
I got.
That's a valid fear.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine, but that I definitely got.
No
that
matter
vibe.
what she does, someone's gonna critique her. But
Yeah.
After the commercial break, because I kind of thought, oh, that was a great convo, but I really wish they had said Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. And after we got back, they did say it, which I thought was really great. And that, obviously the franchise has a lot more to go with improving, but that was a huge step in the right direction.
I think this is definitely the most change that we've seen in the least amount of time for the franchise.
Because I think part of that is that people have been vocalizing that they need it to change. And Bachelor Nation people have said, we are willing to stop watching.
Yeah.
If it means no change is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, obviously this cast is more diverse than past casts, and it looks like Matt James's cast is more diverse. I really want to see more body type diversity. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's the next step. There's other steps involved as well, but we're getting there. It's slow and sure, but hopefully surely.
Yeah, I think this was one of the most genuine conversations that I've seen on a Bachelor or Bachelorette date.
Yes. I think that it's important to a relationship to talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and like Tayshia was saying, she's felt like, oh, I didn't even realize, but there's no one that relates to this, that relates to me in this, and like that's something that I actually really
because they're
need.
Both mixed. And I was thinking, like, she couldn't have this conversation with Bennett.
No.
Not really. Not on the same level.
No. And I, before this, Ivan was kind of like an enigma to me, and he wasn't really on my radar. I know you liked him, and I know a lot of people liked him. But to see the way that he handled this in terms of, one thing he said was, I wanted to put myself out there first so she could open up to me. And I just think that's a really cool way to look at it. I want to share so you feel like you can share, not like I'm going to share this so that you know me deeper, or that I feel like in Bachelorette, you have to share your sob story or whatever you want to call it in order to go deep or be seen as serious. Whereas he was just saying, like, I wanted to share this so you could share it with me about yourself. And
I definitely agree with that. Like, that's something I've never understood, the idea of just sharing so that people can know about you. I definitely think sharing is about so other people feel comfortable. Like, that's why I like sharing embarrassing stories, so that other people feel comfortable and that they don't feel. I don't want anyone to ever feel embarrassed around me.
Yeah, and I think it's an important part of a relationship dynamic that if you can be vulnerable, and then you're offering that gift of vulnerability to your significant other, that's like a really important foundation for a relationship.
I definitely agree. I have definitely been that person who I'm kind of an oversharer, but when I see that people are like kind of an enigma and really closed off, some people are into that, and some people can have partners like that. But to me, it's like I would not have any patience for someone who isn't willing to at least share something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really appreciated this in Ivan. I think it's something that, like you said, it just makes sense, and it seems so simple to do something like that. But it really isn't as common as it should be. Being vulnerable and sharing.
That's why this felt very real.
Yeah.
And I was happy for both of them that they got to have that moment and process that.
Yeah.
Together. And she says at the end. Go ahead.
Oh, so I feel like Tayshia had a lot of self-realization during this.
Yeah, that's another thing that I think is unique about Ivan, because I think it's hard, or it's a skill to be able to help people process things externally that they haven't realized before, and to ask the right questions and like create the space for that.
That is hard.
And so I feel like
that is a special skill, I think.
Yeah. So, and she said at the end of the day, I don't think I've really ever met anyone like him before. And I definitely, I could see her getting swept away in some of the other guys just because, like, you know, they do have more fun personalities, quote unquote, or whatever. But I hope that she doesn't forget about Ivan, because I think, like, he's showing a lot of emotional intelligence and maturity and has, like, already helped her process through things that she might not have even known she needed to process through.
Yeah. I believe he's the first guy that she's felt comfortable enough to get emotional around. So
yeah, I think you're right, actually.
Something to note.
Yeah, because she didn't even cry on her date with Brendan.
And Tayshia's not a big crier. She doesn't cry easily from what I've seen in previous seasons. But
good note.
I do want to note that at the end they have the Tayshia baby photos, and those are so cute.
That was so cute. When she said it was embarrassing, I was like, I wish my photos were that cute of when I was a kid.
She was a cutie.
Yeah, she was so cute. That was funny.
So that was a great date, but let's move on to the group date. The Truth and Dare challenge. So not Truth or Dare, Truth and Dare challenge. What did you think about this date idea?
It reminded me of camp once again, and it also reminded me of Fear Factor / the show, which I believe I've already talked about, Endurance, which is like Kids Survivor. Yes. That's what it reminded me of. What about you?
Yeah, it also reminded me of camp. I remember in youth group we had tons of like nasty food challenges, which would not fly now.
No.
No way.
No way. I was also always that person that, like, if someone was going to try to make me drink a smoothie like that, I just wouldn't do it. I don't care if I'm on The Bachelor. Like, I'm not doing that.
Well, yeah, I feel like you've seen me do this when y'all did, like, I feel like Nate did that. He Smirnoffed us, or what? Smirnoff iced us or something? Yeah. Whatever it's called. And I just said, I'm not doing that.
Peer pressure doesn't work on me.
I don't get that. But it definitely reminded me of camp, and it reminded me of sleepovers, because I definitely was that kid that was like, I would do truth anytime. I would rather bare my soul anytime. Be dared 100%. To do anything.
I'm not a dare girl at all.
So they have to do both now. Now, what I say, if it's a dare that involves me being embarrassed, I'm down. But eating something, physically touching another person, no. But if it means me going up to like a stranger and embarrassing myself, like saying something stupid, always down.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty similar. Like, if it's going to be a dare, I'm happier if it's something like the second thing.
Like social.
Yeah,
but if it's not involved.
I'm not going to eat an insect. I'm not going to drink a weird drink. I'm not going to do that. I have too much pride and self-esteem.
Yeah. But I really did like the state idea, and I liked that Sydney and Becca were on the state. I want to say that Sydney was underappreciated in her time, and her energy on this date was so funny to me. Like, her commentary, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was fun that they were there, and did you catch that Becca said like something about doing the damn dares?
Oh, really? I missed that.
And I was like, really? You're going to bring your slogan back again? Remember?
I feel like you just... Yeah, I remember the slogan for sure.
That triggers me. I'm like, can we not say that?
I feel like it should trigger her. I feel like she wants to, like, maybe... Oh, yeah. I'm not saying, like...
You're right.
Yeah. Because now maybe she wasn't... Well, she may not have... It may not have been public knowledge when this was filmed, but...
But I bet the producers...
They definitely had broken up by then.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I just think that... I don't know. If it were me, I would not want to reference something from my own season if I had just broken up with the person I'd chosen.
Maybe they like have something in her contract that they make her say... They make her incorporate it every time she's on camera for them.
Contract. But I did like having them on the date, like some extra feminine energy. Really needed it.
Yeah, it was just like girl group kind of giggling at the guys.
Yeah.
It was.
I liked the binoculars
That
and
was
the
so
megaphone.
Funny. When
especially with the smoothies.
Yeah, when Tayshia was like, I'm kind of intrigued. Or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about some of the things that happened on this date.
Yes.
So we had the smoothies, the not so smoothies.
Classic.
Which I thought was interesting. And what I'll say here is, I'm not going to go into each individual chug, but all of the guys did really good with the not so smoothies. And this is why I think that is. These guys have definitely chugged some green juices in their day.
Yeah, they're taking those wellness shots.
Yeah. Yes. They all smashed it with the smoothies. I mean, we had a couple of gags, but they did way better than I would. I mean, some of them finished it in like less than 10, 20 seconds.
Maybe they lied about what was in it. Maybe it was just like berries. And they were like, act like it's gross.
I wonder if like a producer went out into the wild of Palm Springs and gathered
like behind La Quinta in the bush. And they're like,
yeah,
what can I find to put in these smoothies?
Yes, I found the scorpion near a puddle, so now it's a water scorpion. But yeah, the smoothies went well. I wish I got to go back and get a screenshot of Chris Harrison eating crab legs.
That I was living for it. I was like,
adored
this is
that.
the life of my dreams. I would give anything to eat crab legs.
Beth. I could see you living that life.
I would give anything to eat crab legs with Chris Harrison by the pool at La Quinta. Please sign me up for that.
I haven't had good crab legs in so long. Because, I mean, you got to go to the coast, you know?
Yeah, it's just not the same
legs.
otherwise.
No. So I haven't had them in a while because obviously I haven't been traveling.
Right.
But yeah, I had some envy there. Also, where do you get crab legs in Palm Springs?
They flew him in special for him from Baltimore.
Yes, Baltimore. I loved that they had Chris Harrison sign booties.
Oh my gosh.
Or did he actually do it though? They showed
like
a cheek one time.
It looked like he signed a leg and they tried to play it off, but I don't know. And then we get that shot.
I really hope it actually happened.
We get that shot of Bennett running with his knee brace, which I was just like,
yes.
Okay,
his football injury, which I think is soccer, and he just calls it football.
He's committed to the bit.
Happened?
If it's fake, he's really gone above and beyond.
That's true. That is very true. He's committed to that. He doesn't want them to be like, hey, what about your knee?
Yeah.
He's committed to
it. He's like,
it.
I have a brace. I'm ready.
And he has to make sure it's the same knee every time.
Yes.
Can't be switching that brace up.
Yes, good point. It's confusing.
Yeah. So we have that, and then we also, the last dare that they have, or two more dares, they have the orgasm phone dare.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how I felt about this.
I felt very uncomfortable. I'll say that right now.
I felt especially uncomfortable with Blake's phone.
Are you okay, Blake? Like,
I don't want to say anything too nasty. It was all bad, but his was especially bad.
Yeah,
I mean, no one wants to really hear that anyways. I just thought it was funny. The only thing that was salvageable from this series of events on the phone dare was that after Blake, Easy says Blake has some demons. He can just go to church.
Yes. Yeah, it was funny that they like broadcast it to the whole resort.
He seems like the only one to get, like, the other guys were clearly just going for volume, but Blake was going for like content. I did not like that.
That was so odd.
I don't want to watch that again. So when I go back for memes, I'm gonna have to make sure I go skip.
Oh, that's some gold.
Oh no, I don't want to see any of those faces. Let's move on. So the last dare was to eat a habanero and propose or profess your emotions to Tayshia. I mean, they had a ring, so they could make it a proposal, but they could also just say that she's pretty or something. But
you're pretty.
Kenny literally chomped into the habanero.
Okay, I have a story about this.
Okay.
Have you ever had a habanero?
No.
Okay,
I've done a hot
either.
sauce challenge, but I've never eaten a pepper.
Okay. There was weird, when I was in college, I led this, kind of like a youth group, I don't know, but event thing for high schoolers, and we would play games and stuff. And one game was, there would be something in a bag and you would pass it around in a circle, and when the music stops, whoever it lands on has to eat that thing. And
that's my nightmare.
Yeah, for real, because as we just discussed, we're both not the people to if we don't want to eat it, we're not going to eat it. No. So this was not my game. But there was this one time we played, and we had one of the habanero peppers exactly like what they had. And I don't remember who got it, but I don't think we knew how spicy it was. And the person who it landed on was this really sweet, but very kind of smaller, quieter boy. And when it landed on him, he just popped the whole thing straight in his mouth. And he was fine at first, but after 30 seconds, he was I need milk. I am dying, sweating,
oh, no.
crying.
I'm telling you, it's trouble.
And then the whole rest of the night, I feel so bad because no one knew how spicy it was, but he was outside, puking his guts out.
That's what I'm saying. That wouldn't fly today, I don't think.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. And so when I saw those peppers, I was like, oh, no.
Trigger.
No, don't eat that. And Kenny just popped the whole thing in his mouth, just like that.
They all handled it really well. I feel like for the most part.
Yeah, I'm sure it was super spicy.
Yeah.
And then, so does Kenny go first? I think, right?
In the show, yeah. Kenny goes and Riley goes. Blake goes. I don't think they show it every single one of them.
They do show Bennett, though, and
yeah.
It was interesting. Well, first of all, he said, I didn't expect in that moment to have feelings, and it wasn't just the habaneros.
Yeah.
that was funny. But
was cute.
It was interesting to say, that he said, oh, I haven't felt feelings like this since I was 18, and, I'm having these feelings. So that was interesting, because he's a character and a legend.
36.
What'd you say?
You said he hasn't felt feelings like this since he was 18?
Yeah.
That was 18 years ago, because he's 36 years old.
Yeah. Bennett is a legend, and we love to watch him, but it's, very interesting to see him actually, because I think of him as his character, so it's, interesting to see him really ending up having feelings for Tayshia, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. I think it definitely a new side that we haven't seen, that we've been saying that we've been wanting to see, which makes me, I want to see, I'm not entitled to seeing Bennett fall in love on our screens.
But I would like, is it too much to ask for?
I'm just saying I would like to.
Same.
But I like I think it was when Bennett was proposing, he's doing his whole spiel, and then Sydney says, bring it home.
Should bring it home. Yes, that was funny.
I loved it.
They were definitely, Becca and Sydney were definitely into his proposal.
Yes, they both liked him. And, I guess it hadn't happened till later, but Becca ends up interviewing him on Bachelor Happy Hour, so.
Oh, true.
But, yeah, he had a good proposal. I mean, there wasn't, the only one I didn't like was Blake's, because he's just cringe.
Yeah, because we don't like Blake, that's why.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can do at this point to redeem himself.
I'm not buying it. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
No. I don't think that Tayshia is either.
No. So the evening portion of the date is the truth portion, which I didn't catch that till she said, okay, we're doing the truth portion now, guys.
I didn't realize that at all.
That's what so the day part of the date was the dare, and then the night part of the date was the truth.
Oh, wow. That went way over my head.
Yeah. I really liked it, though. So she talked to Bennett first, and we find out that Bennett had been engaged before, and he called it off. Welcome to the club.
It's a very exclusive club.
Yes.
My dad and mom are also both in that club, by the way.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I forget about it.
I'll have to make sure that when I meet them, that's the first thing they hear about.
I hear we all three have broken off engagements.
But I really liked what he said here, because he first said it was going to be really hard to talk about. And then he said that he had seen people get married for the wrong reasons and people like rush into it and be unhappy. And he didn't want to make that mistake. And here's what I want to say about that is, you know, calling off an engagement isn't fun. And I want to say that when you call off an engagement, you may not be thinking about this in the moment, but like you're also doing the other person a favor at the same time.
Yeah, because if it's not right, you're really doing the most loving thing you could do for them, even if it doesn't feel like that in the moment.
Yeah. So I think he had a really good perspective on it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I feel like Tayshia almost wanted more of an explanation, but that's what he left it at. So I'm curious to see if he'll get like a one-on-one or something and get to share more. But
yeah,
I don't know at this point.
He definitely is someone who cares about how he's perceived a lot. So
that Enneagram 3 energy.
I would like to hear more. Yeah, Enneagram 3 energy, which he has confirmed.
Yes.
He's Enneagram
he
3.
confirmed to us to our faces,
on
essentially.
Our DMs.
Yes, to our DMs.
But yeah, I enjoyed that conversation, and it was really respectful. Honestly, I should be taking some notes about how I talk about my exes. Granted, he was on TV, so that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And then, ooh, yes, the Blake convo. Tayshia hits him hard with a good question that I think we should both answer.
Wait, okay, what's the question?
What is one thing your ex would say about you? That is a terrifying question.
Oh. What do you think? Do you have an answer?
Mine is probably she has a lot of emotions. Like, I hate the phrase she's too much or she's a lot, but I feel like that's
what they would
my
say.
Exes would say about me.
I don't know what mine would say, like, because, I mean, I'm really not trying to sound like I'm some great person, but, like, I've never been, like, broken up with, so...
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
So I feel like that either means that they would say really nice things, or they would be like, oh, her. Because I broke up with them, you know? Like, and I feel like all the people I've broken up with, it was also very sudden. Like, I was in it till I wasn't. So I don't know what their impression of me would be.
Like that. Yeah.
So I really don't have an answer.
I was just too much to handle. Hair toss.
I think mine would be like maybe something about me being independent. I don't know.
That's a great thing.
No, but I don't mean it like that. Like being like.
No, I hear you though. But I feel like you probably have a better, not camaraderie, but maybe just I don't know. Whenever I've
basically any of my exes, I could just like my most recent ex. After we broke up, like it took a couple months, but like we were friends again after that, and we like hung out.
Yeah,
and it wasn't weird.
It's not my common story. I wish it were. So yeah, I just thought that. I think that's just a killer question. I mean, it's a good question, but it's also terrifying.
It's a really good question. I'm gonna ask someone that this week, and I'll report back.
Yeah, but he did answer the question. He said he's friends with all of his exes, or most of his exes. And she said that like she misjudged him and that he had a softer side than she thought. But I still think that there's zero chemistry here.
Yeah, no. And
absolute zero.
He also said, "You'll never see me treating anyone poorly, especially a woman." And I was like, what?
Thanks for being a decent human being.
Yeah, like
doing the bare minimum.
I'm not going to congratulate you for being respectful. Like that's not something worth congratulating.
Thanks. Oh, gold star.
Like his whole personality is like that. It's like
his whole personality is like,
me.
I should get a gold star for doing the bare minimum.
Yeah, because he's like, I read that book about
dementia, Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, and
that's
so
cringe.
Then after Blake and Blake and Tayshia, even Tayshia and Kenny have a nice little laugh together.
Yeah, they kind of fast forward for the next 3. So Riley says he wants a wife and kids and says he wants 5 kids, which she's only saying that because Tayshia said she wanted 5 kids.
Yeah.
And then
he's like,
Kenny
girl,
says,
I always listen to everything you say. That's what he said. I'm
another
like,
gold star for being a basic human.
Congrats on like literally
I think
doing
he
what
has
your
that
ears.
same vibe though.
Yeah, it's like,
and then
your ears literally listen to things. It's not
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, eye roll. I'm glad we're on the same page about that. And then Kenny says he would, quote, be normal around Tayshia's parents. And she gave him a cute look after that.
Yeah, no, okay, didn't that endear you to him a little bit?
Yeah, I liked it because like he is sassy and he is kind of wild, and it's good to know that he can rein it in when needed.
I stand by Kenny 1,000%.
I mean, he's better than Blake. That's where I'm at.
He's come out. He's had some good moments in this episode, and he would be great.
No,
on
this
Paradise.
episode was the best Kenny episode so far.
Yeah,
to me. Aside from the spray tan moment that we clearly got an idea of his
classic
grooming
TV.
habits. Damar says that his biggest fear is divorce because his mom has been divorced twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Tayshia had the chance to share her story with him.
I bet
thought that was interesting.
I don't know. I wonder if they talk about it because I was gonna say I bet he knows by now, but I wonder if like the guys share about that or if they don't talk about that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he knew, but I mean they have the same fear, and I'm not saying that's great. Like, oh, we have the same fear, but
that also means they have the same desire. So
yeah, they have the same desire. That's true. Good point. Then her and Zach C talk. They hit the hot tub, and
steamy.
What did you catch from this conversation? I feel like I should have taken more notes during this convo.
Well, I thought it was interesting. Well, something okay, so I feel like from Tayshia's point of view, Zach C is hard to read, but I feel like watching it back, he doesn't come off as hard to read. He just comes off as like he knows who he is, he's confident, and he doesn't really say anything if nothing needs to be said. So
yeah,
so I feel like maybe Tayshia gets a vibe of like, I don't know what he's thinking or what he's doing, but really he's just like chilling and comfortable and and is ready
I think
to
he's
talk.
The kind of guy. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like I think he's just ready to talk when it's his turn, but like he's not tripping over himself, but not because he's not into her. If that makes sense.
He's the kind of guy that needs questions.
Yeah.
Like he's willing to share, but you have to ask him questions.
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of relate to that because I feel like Nate is like that too.
Cam is that way.
Yeah.
Cam is like, he will share, but you need to ask a question. Yeah. He's not going to be like, let me tell you about me.
Yeah. And I also liked, he told Tayshia that, he said, what's most impressive about you is the way that you treat other people. And I thought,
good notes.
I just thought, wow, like the fact that
that's great dating advice, everyone.
Yeah. But the fact that he's paying attention to that is,
that's true.
Yeah. So
good note.
Yeah, I thought it was a good convo, and Tayshia makes the comment that she's intrigued by Zach, which I think is a good way to describe it, because I'm intrigued by them too, because they have chemistry and they almost have this, there's like no pretense between them.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know what their vibe is. It's almost like they're just really comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
But there is I'm
intrigued by him too.
Yeah. So
there is a spark. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I think he's around. I think he's going to be around for a while. I still hold on to my Brendan theory that I shared last week.
Yes, I can see it. But
I'm
overall,
still holding true to that.
These conversations prove to me that there's some really great relationships that are developing already.
Yeah, and I think, speaking to Zach, I think Zach has real depth.
Yes.
Which is why he's intriguing, because we haven't seen it all yet.
Yeah, but he's not, like, in a rush to reveal it because he's confident.
Yes. I can't relate to that, but I respect it. So Zaxi gets the group date Rose. Oh, I forgot. They make out in the hot tub. The end.
Yes.
He gets the group date Rose.
And I think they flash back to the house, too.
They do. So Ben is down on himself. He says, quote, Tayshia thinks I'm the worst and I need to step it up. This series of events was iconic.
It was, wait, let me tell you exactly what it was because I wrote it down. A cinematic marvel. That's what I called it.
Yes.
It was
Ben wants to surprise Tayshia. Ed wants to surprise Tayshia. Who is going to surprise Tayshia? And the producers do something that I didn't see coming.
I did not. I was just like, they're going to run into each other and it's going to be awkward. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Someone's going to knock on the door and the other guy's already going to be inside.
Right. And I thought they were letting Ed get there first. And I was like, how dare you let Ed get there first? Ben should get there first.
Yeah. I loved it. They completely punked Ed. No, I don't hate Ed.
No.
I love that they punked him. And
he's so good natured. Like he's already been like kind of the butt of the joke last episode too. So
I totally think that, if you're someone who's big into the meta of the show and the producers, Ed is like, producers, do what you will with me.
Yes. Yeah. And he can't be phased.
They sent him. I feel like they didn't tell him what was going to happen, but they just said, whatever happens, you need to go along with it.
Totally. So you're totally right. Yes.
Yeah. So they sent him to Chris's suite instead of Tayshia's suite. Chris Harrison answers the door and he says, what are you doing here? It's 2:30 in the morning. Chris Harrison's lights are on. He's fully dressed, like in sweats, to be fair. He's fully dressed. And he invites him in for a glass of wine.
Do you think there's any way it's actually 2:30 in the morning?
I do believe it is 2:30 in the morning.
Because maybe they got done with all their filming, and then they were like, okay, we still have to do this.
Because her date ends really late, and I'm assuming this is the same day.
Yeah,
But I thought that was so awesome. And I wrote down, like, how many contestants, like non-leads, can say that they've had cool hangs, chill hangs with Chris Harrison?
Yes, it reminds me of when...
One-on-one.
It reminds me of when you, like, if you've ever worked at a summer camp and there's, like, the head person.
Yeah.
Who's, like, at the time you're, like, 18 or whatever, and they're, like, in their mid-30s, and they're just really nice and cool, and you, like, want to be friends with them, but they're very important. But then somehow one night you end up hanging out in the leaders lounge together, and then you feel famous. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have an exact yes.
I have an exact memory that I'm thinking of.
I'll share my memory really, really briefly. So
okay.
There was these 3 guys that worked at camp. If someone who worked at camp with me is listening to this, they know exactly who I'm talking about. These 3 guys who worked at camp, they all went to this really swanky private Christian school and were all kind of theology nerds, but in the cool hip way. Mm-hmm. If you're from like the Christian circle, you'll know.
You know what we're talking about.
And I didn't have like crushes on them, but they all made me nervous because they were so cool.
I totally know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah. I never had an active crush on any of them, but because I was so nervous around them because I was 18 and I guess they were 21, word got around and they found out that I was really nervous around them, even though I don't see how it wasn't obvious. So one time, the 3 of them invited to take me on a Target date.
Because they thought it was funny?
Yeah, because I guess they were like, Kara, you shouldn't be nervous around us, so we're all going to take you to Target and take you to Starbucks.
And you were like, I'm famous, I'm important.
We're going to get to know you. So they take
Wow.
me to Target and we go shopping around. They bought me something at Target. And then we got Starbucks in Target, and they just all like asked me questions over Starbucks and got to know me.
You're like royalty in that scenario.
Well, it was really sweet, but I'm sure I just blubbered through the whole thing. And now that we're all adults, I'm like, why was I so nervous? But yeah, that happened, and I felt special.
Well, hey, that's good. You should feel special. Yeah. So I'm happy that happened.
But yeah, I understand that feeling for sure. And that's definitely a Chris Harrison Ed moment.
Yes. That was so funny. Okay. Yeah. So what's better? Getting late night chats with Tayshia or having a nice nightcap with Chris?
I want a nightcap with Chris.
Yeah, obviously. Same.
Obviously. And like, no, I don't want any romance. I just want to have a convo.
Yeah, I just want him to like be my cool uncle.
Can Lauren Zima also be there with charcuterie?
Yes. We can make this happen somehow.
That's my dream. So I just loved it. I honestly didn't write a whole lot down from the Ben and Tayshia time together because I was just so in awe of the Chris and Ed time together.
Well, I think it was a good moment for them. What's interesting about Ben, they said that they both feel like they have their guard up with each other, but they don't know why. And so yeah. I feel like this moment
and they have physical chemistry for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this moment, I think it's because they really like each other. So they're like afraid that the other one's not going to like them.
It's like when you like someone and you don't want to do something that will make you seem uncool to that person.
Yeah, so I feel like this is a good moment for them to just like maybe let that guard down a little bit. And I like how earnest Ben was to resolve the situation because I feel like it gave Tayshia more confidence in what he was feeling.
That's true.
And I definitely could see him. That's a really
good point.
I think he's going to get a one-on-one next week. So
yeah, that's in the future. I mean, what I want to say is that they kept playing on the showing up thing.
Yeah, that was...
You showed up. Let's leave that in the past, everyone.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that anymore.
Yeah. But I do agree. I think it was really earnest, and I'm glad he made the effort. I'm glad that Ed didn't beat him to it.
And I'm
glad we got Chris Harrison in sweatpants.
One of the first things he said to Tayshia was, "I am terribly sorry." And that was very Pride and Prejudice-y of him. So yes. That's a little check.
Love a P and P moment.
Yes. It was very yes. British novel.
But yeah,
that was a good moment.
So we move on to the next day, to the cocktail party and the rose ceremony, and we start to see the hope. Are we going to end this episode with the rose ceremony?
My fingers are crossed at this point. My toes are crossed.
We were sweating it for a minute there, thinking that it was going to end on drama. But we see Tayshia wearing the dress that we see in the promos where she handles the drama at the cocktail party.
Right, so we know it's coming.
The drama is coming. I want to say, I actually want to ask, how did you feel about the Riley relationship contract moment?
I'm going to tell you right now, that contract is not enforceable.
Oh, yes, Beth knows. She works in law.
But it is cringy. That's what I feel. I don't like it.
I wasn't about it.
And he's like, I need to seal it with a kiss or something. That's just, no thanks. Next.
Anything that just gave me prenup vibes.
Yeah.
I just wasn't about it.
No.
I feel like contracts, I have to work with paperwork at work and a lot of legalese. Not as much as you, Beth. But
right.
On a certain level, I do. And they really just crush the mood sometimes. They're necessary when needed.
Yeah, they're not romantic.
Not necessary. Not romantic at all.
No, that was weird. I wasn't
about it. And then when they sealed it with a kiss, Tayshia's hands stayed in her lap the entire time. She didn't reach for him.
He's not going to go too far.
Tayshia and Brendan check in with each other.
Oh, that was cute.
They hadn't seen each other all week.
By the fountain, which is getting so much screen time.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the Eiffel Tower moment there last week. We need more fountains. I love how she says, I'm having a great time. Cue Noah coming to stir up drama.
Okay.
Once she said that, I was like, uh-oh.
Earlier in the episode, someone, probably Bennett, was like ranting about Noah because Bennett got on a whole thing about Noah, and I was just thinking, okay, I don't like Noah, but is he really that bad? Like, what did he really do? And
I think it's
I mean, he's about to blow all of that out of the water because then he actually does something worth hating him for. But
I want to say this, that I can relate. I'm not saying it's justified, but when I see a prideful, overly confident, cocky, younger male, I'm annoyed. Even if they haven't done anything to me.
Right.
Or even in my direction.
Yeah,
it's just,
I'm
instantly annoyed.
And then they get that attitude of, I don't even know why they're annoyed at me, which makes it more annoying.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's what's happened to Bennett here. Like, because he's older and wiser, he's like, why does this guy think he's the poop? He's not.
Yeah. And
it got under his skin.
He's also sporting the black colored shirt with black suit look, which is never a look, in my opinion.
I was to say, how do you feel about that?
No.
I also hate that look.
Yeah, it's not good. The only thing that would have made it worse is if he had been wearing a silver chain around his neck.
No. Yeah, I don't like that look either. But Noah, what I will say, if his intention was to stir up drama, he did do it kind of tactfully because
it went excellently for him at this point.
Yeah, because he doesn't specifically name drop, which is good for him.
Right.
He starts talking about how the guys in the house think that Tayshia gave him the rose on the group date to stir things up. And I thought this was an interesting point because contestants more and more as time goes on are considering the producer's role in the show. And that's not something that has always been apparent. You can tell when Tayshia gets frustrated because she starts to purse her lips. Have you noticed that?
Yes, her body language definitely noticeably changes during this conversation.
Yeah. So she's obviously frustrated, not really at Noah. She asks for names, and Noah, at least in the edited complete show, he doesn't drop any names.
Yeah, but he just straight up makes this up. Like,
yeah, he didn't have any evidence.
He said they were questioning her, and that has literally, we have not seen anyone do that. They were annoyed with him because when he ended up on the date that he wasn't even supposed to be on, he took too much time, and then Ben didn't get any time. So that's obviously annoying, but
I really do think he made it up.
Yeah, no, 100% he made it up. 100%.
Because you could see how the guys reacted later. It's very clear that no one else is on the page that he's on.
No, they were like, okay, who said something? Where did she get this from? Because no one has done this.
Tayshia gathers up the guys and basically says, my integrity has been questioned. I am a grown woman. I can make my own decisions. And if you're going to question me, I will gladly walk you outside. Great short monologue, to the point, made the effect she needed. Oh, and then she ends it with K. Okay, I'll see you guys at the rose ceremony.
Yeah.
And then what you said happened. They're all looking at each other like, what happened? Who said something?
The look on Noah's face before he tells them he was the last person with her is priceless.
He was so smug.
And he was smug, but he was also like trying to not say anything. It's like, you just went in a room, threw a grenade, and walked away, and now you're acting like you have no idea what happened.
You know that episode on The Office when they go down to Florida and Jim tells Dwight that there's bed bugs?
Yes.
And he talks about how the bed bug bit him and then walked away all smug.
Yes.
And Dwight does the impression of a smug bed bug.
Yes.
That's what I thought of here.
that was...
Yeah, literally what you said. He dropped a grenade and walked away.
Here's
but
the
he
thing.
was happy about it.
I think Noah doesn't understand that he lied. Like, I think somehow he has twisted it in his mind to believe that what he said was accurate.
I mean, your brain is powerful enough that you can spin up your own reality and believe that it is true.
Because I think he was thinking, like, oh, they don't like me. They think Tayshia gave it, like, even if they said something like, I don't know, like, oh, well, she gave it to you because she respected your move, but you shouldn't have done that move. His brain could have just flipped that and been like, oh, they think Tayshia gave it to me because of this move. They're questioning her reasoning skills. I don't know. But, like, you know what I'm saying?
I definitely think he just spun up his own reality to make himself feel better, and
it's almost
just like you said, threw a grenade and left.
I don't believe he fully did it on purpose, because I don't think he's that conniving. I think he, like, when he was talking to her, stuff got away from him. And then he said,
I think he went in with an agenda. Like,
really?
Because he got straight to the point. Because she was like, "How are you?"
But we don't know that he got straight to the point. Like,
I feel like he did, though. It's just because his face, the way his face was when they got together, he was already serious. He was already.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like, he wasn't being bring playful. It up. But I don't know what I'm saying is, like, I know he intentionally brought it up, but I don't know if he meant to say that. Like, I don't know if he meant to say everything the way that he said it.
I think he did, only because later on, I only say that because later on he doesn't say, like, oh, I made a mistake. He, like, he leans into it. He
is the kind of person, though, that I was going to say that he would double down on it. But that's because he's a douche, so.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not saying I like Noah, and I'm not defending him. I could just see him being the type of guy who's just, like, so in his own world and, like, in his alternate reality that he doesn't even realize his alternate reality is inaccurate.
Yeah, I just feel like he had the chance to be like, oops, sorry, guys, and fix it, and he didn't.
He's got too much pride for that.
I wasn't a fan. I get that how you can maybe stumble over your words and that happened, but he was literally given an opportunity to clear the air and he didn't. So.
Yeah.
But Beth, you were saying something about Bennett. What did he say to Noah before the rose ceremony?
He was just saying, like, he was saying he's not a babysitter and that Noah's not going to end up with Tayshia. So.
Yeah.
I honestly have a sneaking suspicion that Noah will outlast Bennett, unfortunately.
No, I definitely think he is. Either he's going to outlast him or... Actually, we still have...
Or they'll both go home?
No, I don't think so. There's footage of Ben... There's footage of Noah that we haven't seen yet in the show.
Yeah.
So, that's something that makes me think he's going to outlast Bennett.
Sad.
But at the rose ceremony...
Anyway.
I'm just going to cut to the chase. Joe, Chasen, Kenny, and Jordan C. get sent home. Pour one out for Joe.
Pour one out for Kenny.
Sure.
Don't pour one out for Chasen.
No.
Chasen, I literally forgot about him until like the last part of the episode, and I was like, oh yeah, him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna miss him. And Jordan C, great guy, just no impact for me.
No, I'm gonna forget about him shortly. I'm never going to think about him again, if I'm being honest with you.
I am going to think about Joe again, though. Guys, if you haven't followed Joe on social media, you need to go follow him. We need to make sure he leaves an impact and that he gets on Paradise. He's going to be on
Bachelor in Paradise.
Here's an argument I heard about Joe the other day is they were like, Joe is a great guy. He might be too good for the show. Do we really want him on here?
Do we really want to subject him to that?
And I thought that was a good argument. So go follow him on social media. He deserves it. He has really great content and he tries to raise money for charities. Now that he kind of has a following, he's using his power for good. So looking into next week, we have a spooky haunted date, which makes me feel like they probably filmed that around Halloween, which makes sense.
Yeah, and that infrared footage.
Yeah, night vision.
Wait, would they really have filmed it around Halloween, though? Because Halloween was like less than a month ago. So they would have been done filming it.
I don't know. That's a good point. I mean,
like, aren't they?
I mean, if they had done it like 2 or 3 weeks before Halloween, it still would have been seasonal.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Easy says that he's falling in love with Tayshia.
Surprising.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of question the validity.
Me too.
And then we have the inevitable Noah and Bennett 2-on-1.
You love to see it.
And I want to have a quote from Bennett here. He says, "There are 4 elements of emotional intelligence. You are deficient in 3 of those 4 areas."
That's so funny.
I didn't know
can't
there were
wait
4
to
elements. I didn't know there were 4 areas.
I need to know what the 4 elements are, and I need to know which 3 Noah is deficient in.
Which one is he not? Which one is he not deficient in?
Yeah, maybe like looks. Yeah. I don't know if that's part of emotional intelligence.
No, there's no way.
Well, he's not even. I'm not even attracted to him either. So who knows?
I also want to say at the end when we have like the kind of blooper, like extra area, Chris Harrison's telling Ed how he barged in on him. And Ed's kind of like,
yes,
Chris, you do this all the time. And he was like, oh, I'll take note of that. And I thought that was
like,
really
it's a note
funny.
from Ed. Yeah, that was funny.
Well, we made it to the end of the episode, but we are not done. We have a couple of things to talk about. First off, this week's Rosebud.
Woo.
Beth, do you know what your Rosebud for this week is?
Yes.
Who is your Rosebud for the week?
I'm giving my Rosebud to the fountain because
that's great.
Because it has been featured prominently in every episode and many good things have happened in front of it. So, and it was featured again this episode, and I think it should be acknowledged as a key component of the
cast
La
member.
Quinta.
Yeah.
It's basically a cast member. Maybe it should have a Twitter. I don't know. Just saying.
Oh, yes. I love that. I think
the
that's
La
my
Quinta
favorite.
fountain.
I think that's my favorite Rosebud that you've had so far.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
My Rosebud.
I knew immediately who I was going to give it to, so.
Oh, and that's a special connection.
Yeah.
My Rosebud this week is whoever the producer was that made sure Ed made it to Chris Harrison's suite. I don't know if it was a singular person, if it was a team. They all get it.
Whoever it was, they deserve a raise.
Yes. They're my Rosebud for the week.
That's also a good one.
Both had really good Rosebuds this week because it was a good episode.
Yeah. There was just a lot of, I mean, man, I know we say this every week, but like there was a lot of good content of all types.
And the best part is that we ended on a rose ceremony.
Yeah, and they're doing a really good job, like, with all the dates. They're very entertaining, way more entertaining than Claire's were. And
and I'm seeing in the promos for Matt James, they're just going to get better. They're getting better at the figuring out how to make the bubble interesting during coronavirus. Yeah. So, I mean, we're seeing...
It really is like a camp.
Yeah. They're getting more creative. The producers are becoming more camp counselor-like and getting the feel for the process.
Activities directors.
So our next segment is called, Will You Accept This Recommendation? Beth, you have your recommendation, or do you want me to go first?
I think you should go first.
Okay. I'm going to have to pick through. I wrote down 2 things, but I'm going to have to pick.
Uh-oh.
Oh, goodness.
It's a big decision, I know.
Okay, I'm just going to go... Oh, gosh. I'm going to do the one that's more timely. I'm going to do the one that's more timely. So, guys, every year... I don't do Black Friday. The only time I've ever kind of done Black Friday is in high school. I had a friend who said, I need to go stand in line at this thing for Black Friday. Will you come keep me company? And I did. I didn't buy anything. I literally just stood with my friend. Right. But I've never done Black Friday. I'm not a fan of it. And especially this year, it's not conducive to a healthy environment.
No.
I don't know if stores are going to stop it. I don't know.
I think people are just extending their sales to more than one day, which already kind of happens. But, like, I'm pretty sure Target has had Black Friday pricing since the beginning of this past week.
Okay. But still, I feel like we're in Georgia. People are not...
People are going to do Black Friday.
People are going to do Black Friday. And there have been a couple times in the past few years where I've accidentally went out and about on Black Friday, not realizing it was Black Friday. Like, I went out to go get a cup of coffee or to go get some groceries and then got stuck in traffic and realized, crap, this is Black Friday.
That's a nightmare.
This year, we're not making that mistake. I'm making a plan to stay home all day on Black Friday. And I think you should make that plan too. Well, I mean, you as in listeners. I've gotten some ingredients to make something yummy here at home. I have a new show that I just started watching.
What is it?
It's called Over the Garden Wall. It's not a new show, but it's new to me. It's animated. It's hilarious. So I'm staying home on Black Friday. I recommend everyone else do the same.
That's a good recommendation.
Black Friday is ridiculous. The end.
Consumerism.
Yes.
The end.
What about you, Beth?
I think, well, speaking of consumerism, I just got a laptop case, which you would think I would have already had one, but I recently got one because Nate actually got a new laptop and he was getting a case, and I thought maybe I should get a case for my laptop. So, because if you know me, you know I've broken multiple laptops by spilling stuff on them, which is really sad, and it's terrible quality of mine. But anyway, I got a nice laptop case, and when you unfold it, you can set your computer on top of it, and then it has like an extra little space, and you can, if you have a external mouse like I do, you can use that as a mouse pad. So it's pretty cute. Yeah, that's kind of boring, but like honestly, that's what I'd recommend. As someone who's broken,
things excite me. So you're telling the right person.
I've broken 3 computers, so
I've at least seen you break one. Case. Or not seen you, but I've known of you.
You've known me when I've broken it. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. So that's my recommendation. Keep your computer safe. Have a mouse pad. And it looks cute.
Buy a case, just buy it online. Get it shipped to your house. No reason to go out on Black Friday and buy that. Well, wow. We're here at the end. A couple of things before we go. Beth and I are putting together a giveaway for you, our listeners.
And it's not a lame giveaway. It's a good giveaway.
Yeah, we're going to have a Amazon gift card, and then a couple of Bachelor goodies that are to be determined.
Cute things. Like, not cheesy things. You're actually going to want it. They're aesthetic, and
we might buy it for ourselves as well as you, so we'll match.
Yeah, like, I'm probably going to get what I'm putting into the giveaway for myself as well. And that's like when I shop for presents, I always buy myself something. It's also a bad quality I have. But, and we're going to be getting them from Etsy. So we'll be supporting local. Yeah. Yeah. Well, not local, but small. Yeah. Small business.
So be on the lookout for that giveaway. It'll be coming soon. I would say probably in the next week.
Yes.
And then follow us on Instagram, and especially if you want to make sure you get the giveaway info, you need to be following us on Instagram to get that.
Yes.
So,
and we post some funny stuff. We post
fun stuff, but you're just going to miss the giveaway if you don't follow us there.
Right.
So don't miss it. And
we
do
Cabbage
post fun
Batch
stuff.
Pod.
And you hear from me and Beth throughout the week sometimes, and we like to say hello, and yeah, it's fun stuff. And then
we basically just pretend we're influencers, even though we only have like 100 people that follow
104.
us. That's more people than I know, so.
Me too. And then we're also on
Twitter.
Twitter.
Like 10 people.
That's That's a lie. We're also on Twitter at Cabbage_batch. We live tweet the episodes.
Yes.
It's good fun.
Yes.
And if you've been listening all this time, make sure you leave us a review. You subscribe, recommend to a friend.
We've said this before, but make sure you subscribe because otherwise we don't know if you're listening. Like if you're just streaming it, it only tells us downloads. So if you're not subscribed and you're not downloading the episode, we have no idea. And I want to know who's listening. Yeah. So just,
we appreciate all that you guys do just listening in, and if you leave us a little review, a little holiday gift for us in digital form, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it.
It's free to you. You don't have to do anything gift. But take a minute or two out of your day. So, yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys so much. Please stay safe during this holiday season.
Yes, wishing everyone healthy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. Forget that. Healthy holidays.
Anyone can be happy, so not.
And Beth and I are going to try to figure out how we're going to edit this episode together since we did it remotely. So
yay!
We're going to go figure that out, and we'll hopefully have this episode up very soon. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, talk to you soon. Have a good week.
Bye, everyone.